So this is super cool. So can everybody see me in the camera? Let me back up. I should be orange, red, and yellow. I'm not running a fever, I promise. But everything behind me is bluish, right? So if we take me out, I'll make sure my hand's not in the way, it's gonna fluctuate. You guys kind of see how it all changed and there's more oranges and yellows in there now? So if we put me back in, I know you're looking real hard, and then it's gonna fluctuate back up again. So what we're looking for here are those blue spots. Anything, like this is actually set up to black cold, white hot. So black cold means that the blue and the black are going to be cold spots. That's what we're looking for. You might not be able to see them on this small screen, but the nice thing is I take this video and I upload it to YouTube, then put it on my website so you can have it within all of your data, and you can watch it on whatever size screen you want to. I will catch things in the morning. So literally all I need to do, Kola, what gadget did you have last time? Yeah, the EMF?
Yeah, EMF.
Okay, so because you're a repeat customer, and this is one of the most wanted gadgets, that is all you.
Sweet.
So hold it horizontal all night long. That red square on your screen needs to stay a red square, and just be mindful of where the camera is, so that way your fingers don't go over it and say, we have this big orange blob. Nope, dude, that's your pinky finger. All right, what do you got next?
Oh, I didn't grab anything.
All right, so we're going to be using, let's go with any spirit box. That'll work. Perfect. So spirit boxes. Who does not know what a spirit box is? It's okay if you don't. You don't know what they are? Cool. So a spirit box is basically a radio sweeper. By the way, all of your gadgets tonight have been disinfected and sanitized moments before you got them. So I disinfect them twice a day. I probably have the cleanest products on all of the planet because it gets disinfected twice a day. But anyway, spirit box is a radio sweeper. So it's going to flip through the radio stations very, very quickly. So what does that mean? As you're listening for it, if it stops long enough for us to hear a song lyric, a DJ, commercial, or a disembodied voice over top of the static, we were meant to hear it. That's super important. The nice thing about this one is if you miss things, it's fine, because it records the entire thing no matter where the volume is at a nice even level. It's beautiful. So with this one, I'm going to set it up. It's actually going to go to the pair of you. So with that being said, you guys can both listen to it and kind of verify each other what's actually happening. So let me set it up to start recording. Make sure I got the SD card in there. So the only thing you need to know is there's an SD. See that there on the screen? And then this is the volume. So you just turn it up and turn it down. That button there turns it on and off. So you just want to stay clear of that, otherwise you got to start it all over again. Okay? So let that run just like that. We have another spirit box. This one does the exact same thing, only it doesn't record. So I'm actually going to turn this one on so you guys can all get a gist of what it sounds like and what I actually listen for. It's actually going to go to the two of you. So you don't know what a spirit box is, so this will be good run-in for what you guys are listening for. So let me start the sweep. So it's relatively lower on this one. I'm going to go around so everybody can hear it. So I just want you to kind of hear how the static is. With this one, you guys have to tell me what you hear. Otherwise, the rest of us won't know. You already know what that sounds like, and you guys already have it just as well. So there's one button on this. It's on the back of this speaker. It's in dead center to turn it on and off. None of the buttons on the front need anything. It's already preset. Okay, so that one goes to the two of you. All right. Any skeptics in my group? Any of you? Really?
Healthy skeptics.
You're with this guy and you're the skeptic?
I know, right?
Yep. Okay, so this one usually goes to my skeptic. Now, it is an EMF meter. Anybody not know what this guy is? Perfect. I love giving the gadgets to people that don't know what they are. This measures electromagnetic fields. There are 3 types. The first one is natural, comes from the earth. That's why it's green. Okay? The second one is from electronic items, wiring, cell phones, those kind of things. That'll give it a pulse. We don't want a pulse, because we can debunk that pretty quickly. We want it to go erratic. We want it to go nuts. When this thing is in a pattern that you can't figure out is when you need to speak up and stop in your tracks. Like literally, Nick, this thing is going nuts. That's what I need to hear. So that's gonna go. It doesn't make any noise, so it's something that's not between the line.
You okay? No, you're fine. I have some water, but it's not that cold. Will that
It's
help?
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just so hot, and like the mask was bothering me.
Yeah, I wouldn't put the mask on because we only have to put it on certain spots. So, I will take it off for now.
It's like it's nighttime, but it's so hot still.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we going?
So everybody's gonna actually come in here.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're gonna kind of just mosey around here, and then we're gonna go over there, across the way, and then from there we're gonna like walk around. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just way too hot.
Yeah, right there. Ooh, no. What's that? Dark spot. Hello. That's not cold enough. What?
What?
No, it's just smaller. I was trying to see. So the EMF, that's what I had last time, and there was a lot of, a lot of activity on here supposedly, but. And you hear that too? Did you hear that? Like the ponies are kicking the barn. So
Oh, I didn't hear that.
you will when we come over here.
Okay.
Yeah. But supposedly they only do it like when people disturb them or whatever. So. You good?
Mm-hmm.
Ready to head back?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, I just felt so overheated.
Yeah. We probably should have got a cool drink on the way to go or something. A virgin drink. We can just stand at this end if you're worried about people and you don't want to put your mask on or something.
Courtney, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
She can actually help with the thermal imaging. So this is a simple point and shoot, just so you guys know, and there's no flash on these pictures. The reason for that is we don't want any false positives. If she takes a picture of this building and the flash comes back from the window, I don't want to assume that something is behind the window. Does that make sense to everybody? And take as many pictures as you like. I don't like 300.
500.
Just saying. Because I do go through them all. And my wife, who designed the logo for Stories in a Cemetery, is also a major in photography. So she takes anything we find and she debunks it for us. So if I find something, I'll automatically post it as evidence. And then if she debunks it, I'll send you another message that says, sorry, that picture that we got that we thought was shadow people was not shadow people. It was London shadow. So she will go through that. Yeah.
I am doing.
So that is a simple point and shoot. I know it's not an iPhone, but was not going to give up another phone, even though the wife works at Best Buy and we had that spare cell phone line. All right, so everybody should have shared gadgets for two people to listen, and I'm going to have you two kind of go back and forth with that camera as well, because I like to have two sets of eyes on there. So, questions, comments, concerns? You guys are all playing your part, right?
So I just press this to start listening to it real time, or
No, so I will say spirit boxes up. Like I usually go through a quick little scenario first, and then I'll kind of give you guys a quick direction on each location. So the cool thing about our first location, it's kind of a good practice spot. It's haunted, but it doesn't have a Charleston history to it other than the building that's on it, and there's no real claims of hauntings there. There's nothing that's been documented. So it's kind of like your guys' practice area, and London and I will bounce around with you to kind of answer the questions does work on my phone. It's not as sensitive as that one, but it does work on my phone. I use two different types of spirit boxes on my phone. So, did you get a chance to like go through your last pieces of evidence? I didn't look at your last tour.
Yeah, I did.
Did you actually see where we actually caught a lot of stuff? Because I do every time. Alright, so the cool thing about this particular spirit box is it's actually going to give us words right here in the center of the screen. Okay, so the words in the center of the screen, most of them don't mean anything. This is actually meant to be a game and a hoax. So the words, they'll come up in a full list. The last tour I did had 57 words. I'm going to clear them out, and we're going to start you guys off fresh. So this will stay open all night long. Again, 80% of this, yes, doesn't mean anything. It's meant for a bunch of drunk college kids to sit around and have a good time. Okay, but the 20% that we do come across, that stuff is relevant, and I'm going to show you how it's relevant. So last but not least, because I know the stories, see how it's related, and or things that are going on. So that's another reason why I ask everybody's name ahead of time. Because sometimes people's names pop up, and it becomes up very, very interesting. Last but not least, I do use a reverse spirit box. This one is interesting because you're going to hear this one on your audio. It actually has the same FM stations as the two spirit boxes we're going to have running, but it does it in reverse. So if something comes in forward motion, we were actually meant to hear it. So I'm going to play it for all of you guys so you can kind of get a gist of what it sounds like. But I keep this one on me, and the audio, this recording, is going to stay on me as well. So you hear how I ask questions. So let me go and turn this up and give you guys all the gibberish. It's going to sound like gibberish.
Oh, yeah.
That noise is the sound of my spirit box. Yeah, you're going to hear this. You guys listen to your audio.
Very creepy gibberish.
Yeah, very creepy gibberish. Courtney, I know you haven't had a chance yet. So, it's an interesting tool to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let's get back to the regular spirit box. So guys, we start here for a reason.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I love them. Like, maybe some of your favorite scary movies.
Alright, so
I thought
we started here for a reason. This place used to be called Big John's. And you guys probably look this up in Google to get here. You've probably seen Kane Rum Bar. That's no longer here. They moved to Florida. But this place, Big John, was a football player back in 1947. So he played for the New York Giants. It was named after him. He's from here. So Big John used to sit in the back of the bar, and we had the Citadel nearby. So the cadets would come over, they'd have a drink, and Big John would tell the bartender if they were of age or not. Talking about kids probably fresh out of high school trying to get a few drinks. So one night he made two guys mad, cut them off. So they leave mad, they come back the next night, and they take the cash register from the front of the bar. That's the word thing. Don't know how relevant that is, but it could be part of the 80% BS. But anyway, so as they steal the cash register, Big John pulls out his gun, shoots one, kills one. The bullet hole is still in the front of the bar. I've gotten EMF there on occasion, which is a good thing. I don't want it constantly because then I could probably debunk it as something that is from the man-made wiring, the lighting, those kind of things. Like I said, that anybody that sits in the front of the bar, at times will still feel a little dizzy, queasy, just not feeling well in general. There you go. Now, with that being said, well, we're running the same app, but mine is updated. I have a much bigger vocabulary. Hers has 3,000 words, mine has 9,000. So, at any rate, I tell you guys this story because I know how paranormal activity is going to affect me. I know how it's going to affect one. I don't know how it's going to affect any of you. I've had people pass out. I had witches on the story where it was too much. If something is not going well, please speak up for the other person in your party. Please do not be ashamed of, we can go on, we can go on. No, if it's too much, it's too much. We will stop and get you out of that area and try, maybe it's just the area that we're in. Again, there are certain places, and I think it's happened twice in the past year, where I said we have to go now. Because at that point, I don't feel comfortable leaving you guys there. So if I say we got to go now, we got to scurry. Okay? So is that fair to say? It does happen, unfortunately. So, I think that's about it for here. Let's go ghost hunting. We're actually gonna. He's like ready to go. We're going that way. He knows where we're going. I should let Kola tell the story.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I remember most of the stories, but I'm gonna let you go. All right. take my mask off. You don't have to keep it on the whole thing.
Okay.
Just don't get sick.
Kola, I'm just hot.
Yeah, don't put it on.
It makes me overheated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mask.
Yeah.
All right. Gather everybody around. So, a couple things here. First off, the Fruit Cafe that's behind you, the white building that looks like a double-story house, it is haunted by a suicide. They've asked me to come do a full investigation. I haven't been able to get to it yet because they moved it. I did get some EMF readings upstairs in the restroom. So it'd be interesting if I ever get in there where I have to get out. However, it's very hard to find a title of deed to that house because it used to be a state home. Obviously, it's going to span the double story and back. State homes did not have addresses. And that is trying to find a deed to a home that doesn't have an address. Very difficult to do. Also, there's a stop sign just past Fruit Cafe. And I want you all to keep in mind, up front here, the peninsula of Charleston used to be much thinner. A lot of what was on the outskirts was actually man-made. So revolutionary times, the ship would roll in and start again, and a cannonball actually landed right at that stop sign. Pieces of it, no deaths, no tragedies, it's just the fact that they can landmark it from a colonial time, the late 1700s, that's a big deal. But again, just a cool little historical fact. So where we're standing, this is the red barn they keep the horses for the carriage rides. It is the same red barn where they held the horses that delivered the milk to Charleston. We're talking 1860s to 1920s. Those of you with lasers, absolutely no lasers near that red barn. There are windows all over. You will spook the ponies. They will kick and scare the shit out of everybody because it is loud. So we're going to kind of go through. Are you getting EMF already?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's going like halfway.
Good. So sometimes, like I said, this is a hotspot. This is a parking lot too. So you want to be mindful of parks. This is a hotspot that don't have a full story on other than that building. Like I said, this is a good place for you guys to practice. This is kind of I'm going to go through all of the gadgets real quick just so everybody knows what they're doing in this vlog. And be on it, bounce around with you. So first off, digital camera. Absolutely know when there's this many cars around. Folks in Charleston get a little weird when you're taking pictures of the vehicles. Okay? So Kola, you should know what to do with that camera by now. Nice slow movements. Keep it horizontal. Grid pens, keep them low. So let's keep them there. Spirit boxes. This would be a good place for spirit boxes high. Again, yours is like you control your volume. You guys can't. And even though yours isn't very high, if it does happen to go loud, just stay away from the phones because they don't like that noise so much. What else do they have? EMF. We're really going to be watching you to see the EMF number. Well, we're going to probably find some reds in here. It does occur quite often. I will be, like after I bounce around with all of you and answer questions, I will do a quick little session on my own. Spirit box folks. So everybody listen to this part because you're going to be hearing this on your audio. When you're asking questions, because that's what those gadgets are for, it's to ask questions. Stay away from yes or no questions. Ask questions where you might know the answer. What color is the barn? What's inside the barn? Ask who is here. Listen for a name. Give them time to answer. Ask the same question every 20 seconds until you get an answer. If you don't have an answer after about a minute and a half to 2 minutes, move on to another question. Like that's how I go through my process. That seems to be the best way for me to actually get an intelligent response. I get names in here all the time, and a lot of times they match up to John Kennedy's teammates from 1947. Happens all the time. So we never know who's actually going to come through. Did I mention his name? And
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
went up. Yeah.
So that does happen. You're going to see that in several locations tonight. If I get excited and tell you a story, somebody's name might spark a little bit more interest. So let's get those spirit boxes up. Listen carefully. I'm sorry about the digital camera in this area, but this is a weird area for us to be taking pictures. People get really busy. So we'll just do the best we can. So. Oh yes. So the spirit box, folks, you want to stay on opposite ends of each other, so that way you're not hearing the other person's spirit box and or hearing those questions. Because sometimes, even if I ask a question in my spirit box, the answer might go to you, or it might go to you. If I say, what color is the barn? And all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you say, I heard the word red. It makes sense. It then clicks. That's why we use so many gadgets. That's what the purpose of all this is. So let's go glad to get those spirit boxes up. Let's find a red spot on your end, and let's see what we can find with your grids. Just be mindful some cards do go off with that strong green. So let's kind of explore a little bit. Kola.
Where the six is hard.
No, not necessarily. It just spins.
Okay.
Wherever you can hear it best. So Kola, nice slow movements. You should just be pacing, get a gist of how that guy works and the different kinds of temperatures. So with yours, like for example, let me see. So cars are going to be a little bit warmer, and obviously there's some cold spots along the metal. So that's good,
Right.
probably because there's probably a little breeze coming up through here, so it's going to be a lot colder. That particular wall over there, I've been wanting to get some documentation from. Cut down, see where the palm tree is? Right to the right of that, there used to be a giant bush that came out.
Okay.
So if you can kind of hang out over there, just kind of nice slow movements and see if anything kind of pops up.
Alright. Sounds good. There's a dark spot right there. 81. Ooh, that's the lowest. That's the lowest I've got so far. Let's go with that. Nice and slow. Nice and slow.
What is your name?
I'm gonna walk that and go over there and then. And then, I wish we got an equipment though. I was hoping it would give you the EMF. Because that's the coolest one in my opinion. So you kind of get to see. Ghost just went white.
Yeah.
That's just like the way it's on the line.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going wild.
Not much going on over there.
Has barn?
Let's go back in that corner.
Okay.
'Cause that's where last time I was here, it was like kind of like crazy. Like, it was going erratic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My last night is demon.
I mean, I am kind of like skeptical about this, but
Yeah, me too.
I just want to compare from last time and see. Because, let me see. That wasn't where we were at, but we're gonna go next in that parking lot, not this one, but the one
Okay.
next to it.
Okay.
And supposedly it was some lady, and she there was a lot of EMF reading over there, but I think she killed herself or something. I don't even know, or got killed. He'll tell the story, but yeah, that's me at 2 a.m. wondering why this idiots are doing that. Hello, is anybody home? Any spirits in the building? Do you believe in those?
I mean, I'm up for being proven wrong, but probably not.
I believe in those.
You do? Well, I'm up for being proven wrong. I think it's cool.
But then
I've
again,
just never been proven like, oh, this is definitely.
yeah. You should go to Nigeria. You'll see some crazy things. That will blow your mind. You're like, how is that even possible? I think that's one of the reasons I'm not really scared of horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, American horror movies do not scare me one bit. But Nigerian ones, woo! When I was a kid, yeah, pretty scary. Yeah, there's nothing going on over here. At least not today. For me, there is. I don't know. Because it keeps freezing at certain points. Like when it drops to like 80. Which it's Fahrenheit, and I don't think that's. I would imagine like a ghost would be colder than that or something, you know, but what do I know? This is my second time investigating. Agent Burt Macklin on the job. Do you know who that is?
Burt Macklin?
Burt Macklin.
Who is it?
What's his name?
Will Ferrell?
No,
Who's Burt
Chris
Macklin?
Pine.
Chris
Parks and
Pine?
Rec.
Oh, okay.
That's his
No, I
FBI
knew
name.
the. Yeah. I knew the name. I couldn't think of what it was from.
Yeah. Burt Macklin on the job. So funny. If you want to kind of play with this or something.
I don't see anything happening.
Yeah, it's not. The EMF is way cooler because you can. But who knows what
I feel like we can get more action at my house. And I don't think it's going to this.
We should go to Haunted House. Or the jail place. Or the cemetery.
Yeah, the jail might be really cool. Or the cemetery. Yeah, the cemetery would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, that's kind of creepy. Like, what if
Yeah, but that's what we want.
something happens and you're freaked out behind your...
So, I would love it.
You would?
Yeah.
I don't think in the moment you would.
No, I would be so excited. I'd be so excited.
Like, if you just walked into a spot and then all your hair just stood up.
I would be so excited.
You would be?
Yes!
You would not be afraid
I'd
one
be
single
so
bit?
excited.
Girl? Shoot. I would piss my pants. I probably wouldn't, but they're probably partying or something, celebrating something. What is it, Friday night, Saturday night? It might be wedding party or something.
The horsies.
So did you grow up in a small town? Or
Yeah.
small town?
Horses, cows.
Oh, really? Wow. What's the name of the
That's where I
city?
wanted to swim. I lived in Hampton.
Hampton, Virginia. I feel like
No, New Jersey.
Oh, New Hampton, New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't live in Virginia until college,
College.
but I stayed there after.
Yeah. I've always liked horses. I kind of want horses. And cows. And goats.
I like cows.
Just so I can slaughter them later.
That's awful.
I mean,
Cows are gross, though. I mean, no, I mean, goats are gross.
goats are gross
They
too.
just poop everywhere.
They poop everywhere.
I had a lot of friends who like had goats on their property at home,
Yeah,
and they just pooped all over.
Yeah, they
all
do.
over.
they do. What else did you guys have?
As far as animals,
Mm-hmm.
that's about it. Oh no, what's it called? Llama. No.
Llamas? You had a llama?
Alpacas. Alpacas.
You had alpacas?
We had I didn't have them. My neighbors did.
What? That is kind of cool.
Yeah, they had like an actual alpaca farm.
Okay. We had chickens. We had chickens. Every once in a while, goats, but that's only because we saw them later. But nothing too.
is exactly what they've heard.
Just when it's off.
Yeah, you're great. Did you guys hear anything on yours?
We got told to go back.
Go back.
We started walking that way, and then it's going back. Like, very good.
Very good. So I'll definitely, and I just got the word swimming. Don't know that. Again, part of that.
Well, I asked him what he wanted, so maybe.
Maybe. Do you want to go swimming in the ocean? Alright, so Kola, did you guys get a good gist?
Yes, we did.
Alright, good deal. So again, he's our cameraman for the night. And
Ooh.
I will tell you, this was a weird occurrence.
That's a cold spot.
Last week. So thermodynamics is what
That
makes
spot right
camera
there.
work, right? And
See
a
how
lot of
everything
thermodynamics
is?
says
Well,
if
never
it's a
mind.
cold spot,
That's a
that means
window.
something else is
I lied.
warmer somewhere else. Okay, that's kind of how that works. You can't create it or
Yeah.
destroy it.
So I was talking
We
about that
actually
spot right
watched
there.
on camera a spot grow in heat about 5 degrees over a 30-second time span. So what does that mean? That means there was a cold spot nearby and none of us knew. I caught it on the camera the next morning. That kind of gives you a gist of what we're looking for. So we're actually going to go learn some history. Yeah, right? It's not just about waving stuff around, looking for Harry Potter. We're going to go make some magic happen
Fold 'em
somewhere
up.
else. And hopefully my good friend Eliza will come across. She's only let me know twice in the past year. So fingers crossed she comes through again. We're going to actually hit this place.
The way to take with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're headed this way. Wait
So
a minute.
that's the some girl asked if there were animal ghosts.
That's ridiculous.
But it was because of the ponies. And he said there were. He said like supposedly we'll go down like when we go further on the tour. He said there's supposedly the ghost of a dog or whatever. But
Who were you here with last time?
it was just somebody met on Hinge. We had kind of talked for a while, like a day nap. Yeah. She was waiting to this.
You take all your girls here.
Did you use something to drink when you brought your soda?
Yeah, all of them. All 2 of them. Or just the one.
I promise y'all we're not hitting parking lots all night. That's not what this is.
Yes, we are. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I mean, we have to think parking lots cover what a lot of places
Oh,
used to
yeah.
be.
Alright, so guys, this place is super important to Charleston. I know it's a parking lot now and it's pretty full. And unfortunately, no digital pictures again because of the vehicles. You're standing on the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion site. What does that mean for Charleston? A couple of things. So Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They also had a nephew named Charles. So there's 3 Charles right there. Dad, son, nephew. The son and the nephew signed the Constitution. Pretty important stuff for Charleston. Not to say Dad wasn't a big political part, but we have signatures of the Pinckneys. The next piece, because I'm not into politics, is all about Eliza. That's the one that likes to come through when we're here. We're going to have to be very careful because it's Saturday and very busy in here. But Eliza married Charles so she could stay here in the United States. Her dad wanted her home because he thought he was dying, and she's from England, so he wanted her to fly home. So she got married to become a citizen and stay here. So, with that said, Dad got better, they made amends, and then Dad started sending her gifts overseas. Eliza was a botanist. Her garden would have been lined up with that blue dumpster over there. One of those plants that he happened to send over was indigo. So if you've been here for any period of time, you've heard the word indigo before. Okay? Indigo is a plant that creates blue dye that makes our blue jeans. That makes sense for everybody? So we still use indigo today to make blue jeans. It's a big deal. If you kind of want to see how it works, watch Jeff Goldblum on Disney Plus. He does an episode on denim. Very interesting. But anyway, Eliza not only started that cash crop here, but then she had to move it over to State Farm, inland. She's also the businesswoman that sold indigo overseas to all the leaders overseas. We're talking colonial times. There were no business women during colonial times. You can look up Eliza Pinckney at any historical site and you'll hear her story. She's pretty prominent in this location. Watch the club come back.
With it. Sure.
houses and those kind of things and ask them for our camera, Kola, you can ask questions as well. Your audio might come up with answers.
Alright.
Eliza was the second wife named Eliza in Charles. So find out what her maiden name is, because she goes by Eliza blank Pinkney. Very simple. It's a 2-syllable word, and you're already getting EMF, which is good. Find out what happened to the house. The mansion would have sat in front of this lot. I told you where the garden was, and where we're standing with where would have been the slave homes going on along the back. So with that said, you can ask how many servants did she have. She had 4 children. One of them was a daughter. Find out what the daughter's name was. Our light is blinky blinky. So, see the light back there? It doesn't always do that. Kola, what was the light doing last time you were here? Was it going that fast?
Not that fast.
So there's a testament that it goes at different speeds. It normally will go in sync with your EMF meter. So if you were to actually stand where we can see it and hold it up, like you're going to take a selfie, a lot of times it's within 2 frames of a video. It's that much in sync. It tells you how much energy is going on inside this lodge because it's affecting the next building. So this is a place, again, I want you guys to explore kind of like what you did last time. I'm going to be running my own session. So if you guys hear something on your spirit boxes, you see something on your video, call her out to me. Hey Nick, we got this. I got memory too. Interesting. We both got the same word.
Whoa.
Memory. They're not in sync in any way, shape, or form. Interesting. So this place is high EMF, very high. If anybody starts to feel dizzy, this is probably the place that'll happen. Okay? So spread out, keep your spirit boxes separate, ask the questions, and get those answers that I told you. You can also find out how she died, how old she was when she died, and where she's buried. So, Eliza, but Eliza is the person you're addressing directly. I will find out if she brought anybody else with her, because sometimes she does. So we'll find that out on my spirit box. So she usually comes through for me and addresses me by name, I'll address her by name. So, anybody here drunk? You just got the word drunk. Nobody's got the drunk. The skeptic is a drinker. Kola?
Not gonna lie.
I thought you were sweating a little heavy back there, dude. I know, right? Alright, let's go explore. Let's get them spirit boxes up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hi, Eliza. How are you? I'm fine.
Ask her how many kids she has.
Eliza, how many kids did you have?
How's your light? I can see it on your face.
Oh, it's so nuts.
Is it in sync with the one back there? Stick with you for a minute just because it seems like...
The cars here are lonely.
Okay.
firm that I work for.
There wasn't that many cars like there last time.
How much of my story is accurate then?
I think this is like the
What else
creepiest
are you gonna tell me?
as far as like EMF. I still got you a second bottle. Yeah.
So have you read any of the books, the biographies of her? There's actually there's quite a few written about her and her life. Because she used to be
That way. I'm gonna get the cars out the front.
because there was a date difference. I want to say this is 20, 25 year age. So she outlived him. And I'll tell you, like, she's not married. Her husband's married here. But she's not.
Ugh.
Yeah, right by the dumpster.
Yeah. Smells like something died over there. Probably a raccoon or something. Alright. Get out of the car. That's a window. There's a back. It's something dead. It's not the. I don't think it's down
Yeah.
there. Well, we'll probably see some rats on the way. I'm just letting you know. Scared of rats?
Kind of. That's disgusting.
Scared of rats, but you're not scared that your hair is gonna stand up if you experience a ghost?
No.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, I'm not really having fun with this.
Not seeing anything.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of cars around. And,
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the soldier?
oh, two ghosts just walked by. So, yeah. But I guess I gotta do my job. The coolest one's the older, the EMF, and I think the spirit boxes and ask questions. They come up with random stuff. And sometimes some of the words they hear, I guess,
Yeah.
are related or whatever. This is not gonna be as cool as the. I shouldn't have said that out loud. It might get hurt, but it's not gonna be as cool as the jailhouse or the
Gotcha.
cemetery.
Ooh, whoa, that was weird. Did you see that? Whoa. Yeah, and the lights just, they kind of went really bright and then they went down.
I know you know what you're doing. I'm gonna keep you, let you guys go.
Oh my God, she gets pretty. You wanna play with it? No?
Not seeing anything.
Yeah, I don't either. I think the cars are kind of throwing it off.
Yeah.
Mm. 100 degrees. Damn, I'm that hot.
So what are you seeing in here?
Nothing really. I think the cars are kind of.
The cars really make this an interesting lot to look at. Because
Yeah.
you can see like basically who's been here the longest based on the coolness of the car.
Right.
And you can also see like when a new car comes in how the heat is projected down from the bottom chassis. So it's interesting to watch this, but we have found certain things in this lot where the heat signature just does not make any sense at all. So again, you're probably catching on that the camera portion of the technology is not really up to our cell phone needs that we have now, but the technology of thermodynamics is really what makes this an interesting gadget to have. But the camera, if you move it too quickly, will pixelate like an old cell phone.
Right.
So you kind of have to, like, that's why I always say nice slow movements.
Right. But there's some times when I kind of keep it slow, but it'll pause for a second.
Yeah, it's going to calibrate.
Right.
So it'll calibrate, I want to say, like once every 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just to make sure it's looking at the right thing. And I'm sure you're noticing the white lines around that as well. So if
Right.
you remember from your last tour, if we're actually going to catch something that's an apparition, it may occur with a white line around it.
Right.
So that way it can identify it as... But yeah, I mean, I think you guys pretty much got the gist of how this guy works. And you're doing a nice slow job, which is exactly, I've had really bad cameramen in the past. Not that I want this on audio, but I've had some really bad cameramen where I can't even watch it. Because I watch them on my TV,
Right.
you know, so I can catch the little things.
Right.
Great thing about YouTube.
We're heading to the garden.
A lot?
How long have we been on? Yeah. We are taking way too long here.
There was somewhere over there. I was looking. I wanted to ask about that. Like,
I know.
if there was something. It seemed like there was a
That's supposed to be an hour, so.
It looked almost more like fluid. And it looked green.
Exactly. I have to get out of the draft.
Hmm? Oh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The riff of it.
Yeah. Can you still smell it?
It's not as bad as over here.
Yes, that's exactly where I
Oh, there's a ghost up there.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
You want to leave?
Hmm?
You want to leave?
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think so. Does everybody have equipment on them? Yeah, we can. I'll look at you in a second. And he's not telling me. I'm kind of hungry.
That was when I was over there and it kind of flashed up. Yeah.
Let's see, Somerville. I don't know where we go. Besides tickets, I think.
We'll find something.
Unless, I mean, you didn't want to talk about it.
It's just way too hot out here for me, I think.
Yeah.
But I'll walk back and you can turn that back on.
No, Mike, the car's over there. So
Yeah.
we can just, yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let me give you the keys.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I'll come join you here in a second.
Got 3 friends with her. Favorite color's purple.
Well,
And
Not that before.
yeah.
um,
Makes sense.
one of the friends is Molly.
Molly. I have to dive into that because I don't know Molly is related in any way, shape, or form. So I'll have to dive into that. What do you do?
So we got back
put this picture in your evidence. There's a picture of what happened to it. It actually caught fire right above here on the second floor from the roof. So Charleston is just chock full of fires. So most people, and I think I told you guys both, the spirit box folks tend to kind of go right to that corner just to find out what happens. And last night is very interesting. I actually had a full conversation with her. Like it was clear as day. And the guy asked, what happened to the house? She said, not yet house, right away. And then I said, what happened? And she said, blew up. Super quick. So the fact that you said it wasn't me means somebody else blew the house up. Kind of how I'm taking it. I have to go night to night. But you can actually go to, not last night, because I didn't have it to last night, the night before, which will be right below your address, and you can listen to it. And I have it marked. So you can check that out. Really cool stuff. Yeah, where it's at. Yes.
When we went to go over there, they were talking about going to Florida. I got a new Arnold, and then when they were talking about like right now, I got a Stafford, and then I got a Canadian.
Indoor Kola is probably from the 1760s. Does anybody know that for sure?
Yeah, no, indoor plumbing wouldn't have been invented until about the late
Yeah.
1800s.
Okay.
And it's like a silver recipe. I mean, they were. Yeah.
You do have Dawn, and I thought Dawn here too. I looked into it and I didn't find anything. So it could be time of day. Alright, so we are going to go to the next spot. It's about 4 blocks that way, maybe about 5 minutes. We're going to go to Lodge Alley. So in the event, I kind of let me sit there walk too quick. But my wife is disabled and wears braces, so when I'm not with her, I forget that there's other people with me, and I walk too quick. But there is an alley with bricks. You can't miss it. Old bricks, they're clay. We're going to make a right down that alley just in case somebody's too slow. And that's okay if you are, and when I go too quick. By all means, keep filming. Your EMF is going to go crazy. Why? Because all of our parking meters and the crosswalk electrical lines are underneath our sidewalks. So we're not going to pay any mind to that. Pictures, where's the camera again? So if you want to take pictures, like we're going to pass by the market, always take 2 pictures and be very, very still. Remember, there's no flash. So if you're not still, it's going to be blurry. And I try to have to debunk moving waves. It doesn't make sense. What else? Spirit boxes, if you want to listen to them on the way there, that's fine. You got about 5 minutes. But it's going to be busy. You guys are already wearing your masks. Mine will be up. I made it different days a few times. What else do we have? Lasers are an absolute no where we're going. But yeah, let's go take a hike. Everybody good? Any questions about Eliza?
Is there anybody named Thomas in her family?
Thomas Pink.
Thomas. Who's Thomas?
I want to say that was one of the sons.
I remember that.
That one?
What happened to Thomas?
I don't know. So that I will find out. It's on the audio. That means I have to look into it. So all of their names. I knew you were probably going to ask me the most questions. So do you want to tell them why you're asking so many questions?
No, it's just really like Thomas just hit me and just wanted me the whole time.
Okay.
I've been out.
Thomas is definitely one of the sons.
So you mentioned the name already. It's not like you put it in my head.
The questions that I told you guys to find out, the house did catch fire. We talked about that. Harriet was the daughter's name. Eliza died of breast cancer at the age of 70 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
You get to know Wendy.
See? That's why I tell you guys the answers. Telling us to leave, so it's time for us to go.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
So Courtney's not feeling really well.
Okay.
So I gotta keep an eye on her. She
Yeah.
was in the car.
I got you.
And I'm sorry to kind of.
No, what do you want me to do about your ticket price?
Oh,
you
that's
guys-
fine. You don't gotta return it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, let me know how she's doing. I'll text you in the morning.
All right. Sounds good.
Is it just the heat, you think, or?
Yeah, I think it's the heat with the mask.
Understood.
Yeah, she's a coworker of mine. She hasn't been on like a while. She's gonna like go like that, so
Okay.
just gonna want to take her out.
Well, thanks for trying. I mean, I know you wanted to come out again.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love it. We'll probably do it again. You know?
Next time you do,
Okay.
major discount. I mean, if you're going to keep coming back,
All right.
there's no way you got to pay full price.
Okay.
So,
All right. Sounds good.
but yeah, just give me a call whenever you want to come out again. And I mean, I'm actually working on a second tour for January.
Okay.
That's actually going to take a different route with different locations.
Okay.
So just kind of keep out on that.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, man.
Thank you
I
very
appreciate it.
much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Separate. All right. How far did
I
they go?
was just telling them to
It's
take
pretty long.
pictures. If you don't take a lot of pictures on the large apple,
Uh huh.
I've got the system.
So bye. Oh yeah, I did too. Well, she really took them down there, huh?
I guess they weren't pushing.
Well, the young lady with Kola wasn't feeling well, so
Oh, no.
I think the mask and everything involved is just a little too much. And I did get the word separate. You guys are all separated right now. So it's almost like London had the word leave come up,
Right.
and then I get the word separated because we all got separated.
Oh, wow.
So
It's my fault.
no, you're perfectly fine. So what do you guys think so far? Is this what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I know you already had your thoughts on what was going to be happening tonight.
Yeah. I'm kind of relieved so far for me that it hasn't, though, because it's scary when it happens.
Yeah. Well, you got a good group here. We'll take care of you. Move you on. So I'm actually going to double gadget you too. So I know the camera's not always super exciting, but same rules as Kola. Nice slow. Any cars coming?
And then what did you take back?
Courtney wasn't feeling well, so Kola decided to take her home. The funny thing is, after she got the word leave, I got the word separate. As you guys really clearly.
Do I?
There's too many shadows and stuff. I think the custom.
Oh, true. But I was thinking that would be a good one. That's an awesome picture, though. Dang.
I'm sorry, honey, I forgot your name.
Tara.
Tara. Tara has it. Because her digital camera isn't always a super exciting tool to have.
I did something like this back in high school with a friend and
There's a little mini bottle of Crown Royal there. Partying it up.
in Georgetown. We went to a few places and we had activity everywhere we went. It was pretty crazy. Oh yeah, that's where I'm from.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, so my uncle
I'm not sleepy, though. I'm proud of myself. Yeah, like I'm hanging on. Goodness. Oh, no. It has been a while. Is that really necessary? Like, really? It wasn't. Was it really necessary?
I love my solo games.
Yeah, like,
Okay, it was a little bit expensive.
a little. Oh my goodness, poor Spaghetti.
I took time to better about my phone right when we got back to the hotel, and then got it like right week before we left.
Before we left, true.
Like waited like an hour.
I'm the grown up here.
And then when I called him and his wife were doing road cars, so we were here waiting, and I was like, and I noticed the years. Yeah, go ahead. So I did, and then I sat there and I started grabbing her going to the home. I was like,
Yeah, I stopped seeing taking pictures. That man's painting. He was, and everybody that turned around, he's like trying to zip it up real quickly.
maybe after the restaurant arrived.
You can't really see the people. He was like taking a whole leak.
Yep, and that's behind. He's like, oh, there's a lot of people.
Yeah. Feeling like like pick some of like the balconies. Yeah. That's super cool. I want to total sit up there.
I will edit him out.
There's, yeah.
Alright.
Is he still peeing? Oh my gosh. Jeez.
No problem. He's smart. He brings the lamp. So I have the full list of residents, all the people that used to live on this street. Now, they had different occupations as well. So we get things from on our spirit boxes. I don't know if anybody listening to their spirit boxes on the way in here. I know it's probably hard with all the
No,
noise.
there's too much going on.
On our way out, which will be in a few minutes, we're going to go this way. So by all means, you can keep your spirit boxes pretty low and listen. So I want names to see if anything matches up. I have one gentleman in particular that keeps popping up. And again, notice I don't tell you what those answers are because I don't want to give you suggestive thoughts and say, hey, I just heard Joe. You know, I'm not going to give you that information. So if you tell me what it is and it's the right thing that I keep getting here, it makes sense.
By the way, it's not Joe.
It's not Joe. There are very simple names that are residents of this alley, but we're talking all the way back to 1790. So also keep in mind the water was that way, so again, it would have been much closer. So some of those people were seamen, they were mariners, grocers, seamstresses. They've done archaeological digs and using the bricks. Now, what they found in there was some of the food utensils, some of the tools, a small article of their clothing, and it proves that they were actually of the lower class. So I found other articles, and I was diving deeper into this, where there were arguments and arrests down here from people shouting at things. It's those names that pop up. I have those articles as well. I just recently found them. It's exciting. So that when I get names on specific dates, that's really cool stuff for me. Because numbers and names I can verify very quickly. They laugh is what she has. I also have the word laugh. But the Masons also used to meet down here before it was the actual street. So it was this called, you know, the bricks that you see, the buildings were all different. So one behind you, these are mid-1800s, based on the architecture of the bricks. So a little bit later, the pictures I found of this place don't look anything like what we're standing in right now. So very cool historical place on the first street of the building behind me, you walk down again. It's a hotel that claims to have its own ghosts, however, none of it relates to Charleston or anything. They have claims of apparitions. I've never done an investigation to find anything true. Just know that every hotel in downtown actually has a story. So it's one of the myths of life in the world. So we're going to walk through here and we're going to pretty much go almost directly across the street. Nice slow movements on the thermal imaging camera. For those of you that don't know, Formula 10 also called home, so a little shorter. The gadgets are still on, so you don't get all the same stuff. But I do this activity near that wall. I caught the full apparition of a person with the thermal imaging camera. And this person wasn't blue. Remember I told you all this with a blue on it? That person was yellow against a red backdrop, which means that the yellow was a cooler temperature. I verified it with a photo that was taken nearby at the same time of a shadow that I couldn't explain. So it was kind of like the shadow piece of this matches where that apparition showed up on the thermal imaging camera. And it was a full person. So it's kind of like faded in, like it was weird. So really cool stuff happens down here. Let's get those spirit boxes running. We're going to go to another, it's another little area. So let's go.
It's weird. So it's all flickered down there, and I really want to get a picture of like the wall, like right under that green bush. Who's in the alleyway? Who did I see? Okay, this is like right here. Tom? Rose? Rosen? Who lived in this alleyway?
That's weird. That's how I was thinking. Probably would have thrown it.
Got some good pictures for us there.
Yep.
I have to look. I know most of the male names. The females that haven't come through for me yet, so I have to look at the list. It's not very long.
Rose? Do we get a Rose? Okay. Tom and Rose. Oh! Ooh. Let's go, Samantha. That's weird. Let's go. Let us leave. Like the water pipe like started shooting out of the wall.
They did say, be careful.
Yeah, maybe that was it, because that was. Oh, crazy. That was wild there.
Alright, so let's get those spirit boxes down. So, guys, I tell the story of Philadelphia Alley out here because this is one of the hot spots in Charleston where we're going to get interrupted if we're actually standing in the middle of it. And the cool thing is I'm not going to draw this out to be some big thing for you, like most other grocery stores. I'm going to give you the data, like a very quick story, but we have the gadgets to be able to prove that this story is true or not. So, this now is Philadelphia Alley. It's named that because Philadelphia. That's weird. Who was investigating in Georgetown?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Like just in Georgetown?
Yeah.
Front Street?
So just like downtown?
Yeah, just the whole downtown.
You didn't go to like St. Frederick's Church near Mills
Yeah.
Inlet? You went there too?
That was where we went after.
That's where Alice is buried.
Yeah.
Alice Flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just got Alice, yes.
Alex, yes. Oh.
So,
I was thinking you could roast your
London likes to bump me whenever she gets a word and interrupt me. I forget where I'm at. So, Philadelphia Alley was named Philadelphia Alley because after many, many fires, Philadelphia bailed us out of one of them. And after dueling became illegal, we had to name it something else. So before Philadelphia Alley, it was named Dueler's Alley. Dueler's Alley is actually where the story is told from all the other ghost stores. It's an interesting one. I actually have more information and dates and all kinds of things because I've been investigating it a lot more. But it's the story of Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd, also known as the Whistling Doctor. So your tickets, I think I actually gave you a quick synopsis on your ticket stubs. But he moved down here from, not New Jersey, I'm wrong. Yes, it's Rhode Island. So he moved down here from Rhode Island. He was supposed to get married to a young lady named Amanda, who just got a very large inheritance from her deceased parents. The lawyer got involved and said, "You two are not going to get married." He told the doctor to go start his practice elsewhere. He moved down to Charleston. The postman that dropped him off in a very bad part of the neighborhood. So he was supposed to be robbed and killed. He set him up. Somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs He actually happened to be an attorney here in town, which is surprising because he was kind of lower class, so he must have not been a very good attorney. But he said, you don't want to stay here, and he takes him over to 59 Church Street where he rents a room for two ladies downstairs. He rents the upstairs. So the two become friends, they go see plays together. They talk about the plays on the way home because the doctor's practice is doing really well, and the hierarchy of Charleston, they can't sit together. So on the way home, talking about Richard III, talking about a new actress that was in town. The doctor loved her, Ralph did not. They got into an argument, it turned into an insult party on the doctor's fiancée Amanda back home in Rhode Island. The two get pissed off, they go their separate ways. Ralph Isaacs, being a Charlestonian, writes in the city paper what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. Wow, what a jerk. So, the doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dollars Alley and settle this. So they come down here, back to back, take 20 paces. The doctor turns, points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend, just wanted to make a point. I got that early. Now, that's funny because I'll say the rest of it. So, however, Ralph took 2 shots on the doctor below the knees. The doctor falls. Now, normally the loser of the duel is what? Dead, right? There's a gate right here to the right where the loser would go through the gate and over to St. Philip's Cemetery, which, by the way, Sarah, that's a great shot of the St. Philip's steeple if you want to grab a couple.
Indeed.
They would go straight to the grave and everybody would go celebrate the winner. That didn't happen. The doctor didn't die, so his friends pick him up and they carry him to 59 Church Street. It's about a mile and a half from here. He dies 10 days later. I told you he's also known as the whistling doctor. Business was doing pretty well. So, when you walk down this alley, it is saying you can hear the whistle of the doctor. I've only been twice that I've been able to find whistles that I couldn't debunk because everybody in Charleston knows the story and likes to walk by and whistle and fool everybody. It is also very quiet in this alley. You don't hear a whole lot of things. So it is also saying you can hear the gunshots of the duels that took place here. Very interesting story. It's very long thing on the internet and in books. You can read all about it. I like to give it the skinny. So again, this is going to be very busy down here. We're trying not to gather too many pictures unless it's empty, but we can still film with the thermal imaging camera. At the very end of this alley, it's very unique to Charleston. The bricks are going to get older. The bricks right outside this, when we step out into it, are going to be replaced like in the 1990s. So they get older as you go down. There are fingerprints and handprints from the slave children that actually had to sun-dry those bricks, turn them every hour. They didn't have brick ovens to put it in. It's very sad, but they were there. I like to point them out. It's part of our history. We have many fingerprints and one full handprint down there. And you can see that it's the handprint of a child. We don't get a whole lot of activity near it. There's somebody's house at the end of this alley. So I will point it out to the person behind me, and you guys keep down the train. You cannot linger there, even though this is a very popular alley and he lives there and he should know that. We don't want to hang out and chat about it. I'll point it out. If you want to grab a quick picture, by all means, do so. Please make it quick and be respectful to the resident that lives there. He also thinks that these are fake and set up. They're in 3 different parts of Charleston. They're in Drayton Hall, they're here, and Boone Hall is the other one. You can actually type in footprints or handprints Charleston, and the Post-Courier article will come up and tell you the exact locations. But again, it's part of our history. You guys should know it. So, we're going to walk through this alley. Spirit boxes, kind of keep them low. Still listening. Just kind of see what happens. Yours doesn't, but yours is already low, so I'm not too worried about yours. Now, there's also something else weird happening here. And I hate to keep styling, you guys want to go walk in because it's really nice and pretty. It's the most peaceful place in Charleston, by the way, if you've never been here. But there is a new light above the Footlight Players Club, which your EMF's going to go off like crazy because of all their equipment. It's the Actor Studio Production Theater. That light has been flashing on random nights whenever I walk by it. It's that, what's that called? SLS, Street Light Engine? I don't know what's going on with it. I've been doing this tour for a year. It only does it on certain nights over the past 2 weeks since I've been back from my Pennsylvania trip. So it's been weird and random. It just flashes for a quick second. I don't know what's going on. So if it happens again, there it is. What's the name? Bailey? Doesn't mean anything. Okay. You guys ready to walk through the alley? Alright, let's walk kind of slow through there, get us some great film.
Okay.
Ladies, if we can step out of the way just for a second so she can get some good pictures for you.
Thank you.
I got camera. Literally. Alright, you good? Oh, sorry. I was trying not to interrupt.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
What is your name? Let it go.
Let it go. Oh, they don't want us to ask that anymore. How old are you?
How old are you?
Podcast what? Podcast what? What do you maybe just listen to? What do you want us to listen to?
What do you want us to listen to? Diagnosed with what? Diagnosed with what? Diagnosed with what?
You didn't play smell of water. Sorry, those grapes make me nervous.
Alright, there they are. Did you get some good pics?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Good deal. Oh, I can finally see your ink. I'm trying to look at it all night.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Alright, guys, we got one last building to take a look at. And I was telling them, I normally have 4 or 5 extra locations in my back pocket, but because our Eliza Pinckney site was so active and we got so much activity, that's what happens. I keep those extras just in case. So I apologize if we can't go to them, we're running out of time, but there's also another kind of a short time we're at. But again, we got a lot of activity. You guys have been great. I want to tell you, I've had some groups that are pretty quiet. It's like, are you digging it? Are they hating me right now? just never know. But you guys have been awesome so far, so thank you for that. Very interactive. That's what I need to keep going. So the building behind you guys, that is the Wagner building. Not many people talk about it, surprisingly, because the history is pretty dark. It's actually part of our cotton industry, or was. It's being used as condos now here in the back, and then the front of it's actually being renovated into a wedding venue, reception area. So it's going to have 3 floors on the inside, and then a rooftop.
Which way did they go?
So you can imagine, a wedding reception area is probably going to be pretty pricey. But it is gorgeous, and as you know, the paranormal activity, it gets screwed up with construction. So I've been hanging around the Wagner Bill quite a bit, trying to capture extra activity. Now, again, part of our cotton industry, the back would have been a warehouse, the front would have been offices. It was owned by George Pereira. He inherited it from his dad. Okay? He had no idea what he was doing. The silver spoon kid got himself into a bunch of debt, but he was screwed. He had no idea what he was doing. We also have the boll weevil in town. The boll weevil is a bug that eats cotton. So it is a very big deal here in Charleston, as you can imagine. So he's really a big freak. His crop is no longer worth what he paid for. So he's in trouble. So what's he do? He sells off to the British. He doesn't have enough to pay off all his debts. He didn't have kids. He didn't have enough to pay all his American debts, but he needed to get out. So what's he do? The British ship rolls up. That's Pineapple Park, 2 blocks away. Again, it was closer. He could see the ship rolling in. So he's watching from the 2nd story. They unload all his cotton and put it on his ship from these back garages now. And it was horse and buggy. So that's how it went out. However, somebody got too close to that cotton with a pipe. The whole ship catches fire, everybody dies. So not only does he not have enough money to pay off his debts, his dad's gone, and he's already depressed. His legacy is gone. Piles up all the furniture, puts a captain's chair on the top, hangs himself. It is said you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the 2nd story window. Some say the 3rd story. Most of my tours, if we ask directly, we get the number 2 often. So we always focus on the 2nd floor. Now, I told you guys, who's got the thermometers? You do. So perfect. So the back of this building, if you take a look, it's got a peak to it, okay? Everybody kind of see that peak that comes up? Okay. Now the front of the building has the very same peak, only it's a different type of stone. It's not brick up there. It's like a cement. Below that, about 5 feet, is another arch made out of the same type of cement. At times, the difference between those 2 cement pieces is up to 30 degrees difference. There's no reason, even the breeze from the coast, to make that a 30-degree difference. It should be anywhere between 7 to 9 degrees different, not 30. So anything above 20, I'm excited about. That's when I ask, we get a nice full thermal imaging, nice and slow across the 2nd story, take some good pictures. We might actually capture that shadow. Now, keep in mind, I was dumb when I bought the thermal imaging camera thinking it can actually see through windows. It cannot see through windows. It'll only look at it as an actual object. But if that object changes temperature, we'll be able to see that. That's why I say nice slow movements on the 2nd story. So I want you to, when we go to the front, literally walk all the way down.
Okay.
One other person tends to come through when I'm looking at this building. Where we came out of at Philadelphia Alley is Poogan's Porch. Okay, Poogan's Porch is actually named after a stray dog that a lady named Zoe St. Amand used to feed all the time. She lived in that house. It's now a restaurant. I know it's Zoe coming through because her name pops up in the correct spelling of Z-O-E. She is of French descent. I get the words French a lot. So Zoe, and if you ask her what type of business is there now, she'll tell you food, fork, plate. She'll give us those kind of words on all of the spirit boxes. But again, you never know who's going to come through. What I'm guessing is going to come through tonight is George. I already have the word coin. He was in debt. So again, anything monetary, I take it as George. You're going to hear the audio when I'm crossing and walking up alongside the building, me asking who's here with us. I usually get a pretty straight answer. So again, listen to your spirit boxes. Once we get to the front, the EMF's going to be irrelevant. I'll be back on East Bay. Lasers are pretty much a no because people live there. Keep filming. Yummy. I don't know how young he was. But that's a good question to answer. I want to say he was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. We're talking about George. So let's kind of see what we get out of this. And then we will talk about what actually happened and we'll wrap things up. How's that sound? Did you guys have fun? You sounded like you had fun.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go look at one more haunting. What about you, Skeptic? You have fun? You're my main focus. Make sure the Skeptics have fun. Right away.
How young
are you?
They just sent me.
How did you die, George?
How did you die, George? George, how did you die? Where did you die, George? How old were you when you died?
So again, I got the number 50.
At your building.
Where did you die, George?
You find out how old he was? You find out how old he was?
George, how old were you when you died? George, how old were you?
Who's with us?
Is anybody here with us?
So what are you guys finding?
I have people just walking up. I asked how he died, but it's important.
Okay.
But I didn't know to make out much after that.
Well-
I got some about second floor.
They, yep, they got that too. They also asked, I'm trying to figure out what's actually on your mask. I'm staring at it.
Creepy face.
Okay.
And fangs and stuff and
But
stuff.
they said because my dad died. So that makes sense. They also got the number 28 twice. So I had to do a little bit of research to find out how old it was. It just has a myth and a legend story. But I forgot to tell you too is the next morning it was the newspaper kid that sold his homes on the corner that found it. I got the word press on the way up. So again, we definitely had George with us tonight, not so much as Zoe. London's going to collect gadgets. I'm going to get you guys my card. Are you guys parked down by where we started?
We're on the other side. We're on North Meeting.
Okay.
Right by the market.
So we can kind of, we're going to be heading that way, so you can always follow us. But
Cute.
London, the gallery's up, and I'm going to take a stack of business cards so I can start passing those out, and we'll get people back to the cars or wherever else they need to be. If I can get it open. All right. So, are you guys the locals?
No.
We're from Charlotte.
Okay. I'm trying to remember because I did have a lot of locals on there. So there's.